Hello, I am Susan from Kerala LCHF Experiment. I have started this channel so that I can give a summary of what I did, what I have been reporting day to day on Kerala LCHF Experiment. Because those that was just a day-to-day report, and it did not impart the kind of information that I am doing now. It was a day-to-day progress of what was what was happening, day-to-day ups and downs, and it had to be followed regularly to understand what was going on. So, though some people had asked me for an English version or English subtitles, I thought this would be a better idea because in one video you can get the information of several of those videos. So, in 2018 August, I was on Lantus insulin and metformin, Glycomet SR 500 twice daily, Lantus 16 units. At that time I had an inflammatory condition of the eye, and I thought I wanted to find out the cause, and because the ophthalmologist had told me that this eye inflammation is triggered by other inflammations in the body. The only inflammation that I was aware of was diabetes, because diabetes is known to be an inflammatory condition, and my medication was not making me any better, the inflammation go away or reduce. It only suppressed my blood sugar figures, and the disease was all the time progressing. I got thoroughly fed up because these medications could no longer control my diabetes. I was always going up or coming down, and when the blood sugar comes down, I was ravenously hungry, and I started eating whatever was on the table, whatever I found in the store or any place, and then again the sugar would spike up. That was something which made me also unsteady. My temper would be unsteady, my energy level would be unsteady. I will be energetic at one moment, and the next moment I would be feeling very low. So I had heard a lot about low carb, especially keto diets, and I thought I will start on keto. So I connected with the Habib Rahman sir group, and they told me you stop all medications and start keto. But I was afraid to stop all the medications which I had been on for 14 years, so I was hesitant to do keto. But because my condition was not showing any improvement, my eye condition, later on I came to know that it was the wrong protocol of medication that had caused this. And later I went to another hospital, and it was cured in no time. But then what I did was I jumped onto keto. I could sustain it only for 3 days because butter coffee is not something I like. I don't like or the greasy feeling afterwards, and having it first thing in the morning. Otherwise it is a good. Maybe I made it wrong. You have to whip it up nicely, and you have to have it warm, quite hot maybe. I don't know. And I never felt comfortable about consuming so much fat and so much animal products, because basically we have been taught that these things are not good for your health. And then I thought like, if it is carbohydrate that is causing all this, let me reduce my carbohydrates and see. And so I went on a diet which I have explained in my other videos, which is the regular diet that we have, but I have cut the carbohydrates drastically. For example, if I used to eat 2 nice crisp doshas in the morning, I reduced it to 1 small dosha with jackfruit powder and dosha batter or I would add some other ingredient which would reduce the glycemic index. And further, I was following something called food order, eating eggs and vegetables or some protein and vegetables first, and then the carbohydrates for breakfast. For lunch, I reduced my rice intake because I was having regularly only rice and vegetables and non-vegetarian items, whatever was available. So I reduced the rice to about 1/10 or maybe about 1/5 of what I was eating. I reduced it to 2 tablespoons, and I increased my intake of vegetables very much, and non-vegetarian food slightly, not too much. And then I added ghee to my rice. Whatever rice I was eating, I added ghee, because ghee was supposed to be anti-inflammatory, and it was a fat that would replace the carbohydrates that I was cutting. Then for evening snack, I used to have just tea and some nuts or something, and night I started to have my night dinner at 6 o'clock in the evening, because I wanted to have a fasting time as well as follow the circadian rhythm, so that I can take advantage of whatever nature is providing for efficient running of our physical bodies. So if I after 6 o'clock, your digestive system slowly shuts down, and your rest and repair systems starts up, and because those systems also have to work at their maximum efficiency for your body to be healthy, I thought let them have their rest and restoration time without interference of digesting time. As we know, the body requires a large amount of energy to digest foods, especially heavy foods like meats, etc. And those that when the body uses all that energy for at night also 24/7 for digestion and assimilation and other other metabolic factors for connected with it, it doesn't have much energy or much time for rest and also for repair. So that is the general idea. That is proven also, because the body's hormones work best during the daytime. At around 11 o'clock, you have your best time for eating, but 11 o'clock in the morning. So I postponed my breakfast to 9 or 9:30, and I reduced my eating window from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening. As we know, there is a Pune group under Dr. Jagannath Dikshit who has this kind of a diet for weight loss. So I followed that diet, and I followed that system of eating, not diet, the timings. And now I am off all medications. I went off medications very quickly after I shifted my priorities from carbohydrates. After I reduced carbohydrates, my blood sugar came down very fast, and then I reduced my medications, stopped all the medicines. I became very thin, and so I stopped metformin also, and now I don't have any diabetes medicines. And my blood sugar, last time I had my HbA1c done, was 6%. Earlier it used to be 7.3 or so when I dieted and maintained my diet with great zeal and was not eating any sugars. So what I am doing now is I eat a breakfast which is low in carbs. I eat whatever is there, like dosha, idli, putta, and I add jackfruit flour to that, or I add almond flour or almond meal and lots of coconut, and then powdered flaxseed to the finished products in some way. And in these ways I reduce the carbohydrates in my breakfast. I also eat some protein and vegetables ahead of eating the carbohydrates, because that is known to suppress the spike of sugar and insulin. Eat protein and vegetables first, and then the carbohydrates, and your insulin and blood sugar spike will be very much reduced. That is breakfast. For lunch, I reduce rice to just 2 tablespoons and vegetables to maybe 2 katoris curry, then non-vegetarian. When all these added up, it provided the same bulk as my regular lunch of carbohydrate rich lunch. So I did not feel hungry. I added ghee to my rice, 1 teaspoon of ghee. Evening I would have tea and say rusk or something, which is not really a low carb food. In between I would drink only tea, and that too black tea. You are allowed to have tea and coffee without milk and without sugar. And for dinner, I used to have dinner I am having dinner before 6 o'clock, sometimes at 5:30, whenever I'm feeling hungry, 5:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and very rarely after 6, but before 7. And my dinner is usually very low carb. Rarely I have oats, that is steel cut oats with some protein. And generally, if it is low carb, I have a little of some whatever I had made for breakfast. I make again, the batter will be there, a very small dosha, and more of vegetables, steamed vegetables like bindi, that is okra or lady's finger, cabbage, all then ivy gourd, whatever it is, I have it cooked and with some masala, and it is tasty also. So I have that, and a little of the little carbohydrate. In this way, my blood sugar is always low, not low, always within range, and I am able to manage without any kind of additional medical intervention. I am also moving around quite a bit, and I'm not going through any regular exercise, but I have to do a lot of not 1 hour walking, but I have to move around quite a bit because I have a grandchild with me, and she runs around, and sometimes I follow her around. Otherwise, I go to her school to drop her and pick her up along with my husband, and then there is a bit of walking there, walking back, again walking there, walking back, and so from the car park. So that is a little bit of distance, and all that, and then waiting for her to play, and then sitting out under a tree for about half an hour. In the sun will be there, but because of the trees it will be curtained, and all this has helped me to reverse my diabetes to this extent. And I am going to check my HbA1c again, and then I'll report. Initially I was having more fat. Initially, when I reduced carbs, I was feeling tired, and I had lost a lot of weight, and so I was having more carbs and more fats, and then now I have gradually reduced the fats, and at the moment I am not having any meat or fish, because we are on a fast, a religious fast, and I have found that chicken and wheat are the two greatest triggers of my blood sugar spikes. And I have found it several times that chicken also spikes blood sugar. They say that protein also spikes blood sugar quite a bit, and I have found that chicken does spike my blood sugar. These things are individual. It may spike mine, it may not spike somebody else's, it may not spike as much as rice does. So I would suggest that anybody who tries to control blood sugar should test after every food once or twice. I would suggest I do it 4 times. Same food, I do it 4 times to see how much it has spiked my blood sugar, or how much it has not spiked my blood sugar, or what is the effect of eating a certain food. And with that, I am able to control my blood sugar well without medications. And what I find is that you can easily control your blood sugar at whatever stage you are in with diet and exercise. Exercise doesn't need regular cardio and Zumba or anything. Exercise means you just move around most of the time and sit around very little of the time. Sitting, it causes a lot of disease. Sitting and lying down less and moving around more will definitely impact your blood sugar. But when anybody does this, the medications may cause hypoglycemia, very low blood sugar, which is dangerous. And so this kind of changes in diet and exercise have to be done with constant self-supervision and medical advice. After consulting the doctor, he cannot be on call every second of the day. If anybody reduces their dietary intake of carbohydrates and increases moving exercise, just moving around or waving your hand or holding your muscle tight, that is also an exercise. When you're simply watching TV, just do this. You do this to one arm first, then the other arm, then tighten your leg muscles, stretch your leg muscles. All these constitute exercises. So do all these, and then you will see a great change in your blood sugar. And when you do that, you have to ask your doctor how to reduce medication in case the blood sugar comes down. But if you do that and then increase your intake, this will not work. So this is just what I have been doing, and details of each of the things that had helped me, kinds of foods that helped me, etc., I will put in later. Bye for now.